Help support our coverage with a free account on Privacy, the service that keeps you protected when shopping online. Get $5 to try it now by using promo code QZZ2J. And with Blueberry, the community that gives creators the power to make money, get detailed audience measurements, and host their audio and video. Get a 30-day free trial by using promo code Blueberry004.
We're going to welcome Anthony. Oh my goodness, I'm going to destroy this. Handvaski, the CEO of Everyone Makes Progress Incorporated. So did I destroy your last name completely?
You didn't destroy it completely, but you were a little off. It's Handkovsky.
Okay,
we just forgot to see.
Wendy, welcome to the show, and
thanks for having me.
Yeah, so tell me what you've got going on here at CES this year.
Yeah, so this is our first time at CES. We're here to explain to people how we connect them to their fitness data. Basically, there's so many different devices, and as we've all seen walking around here at CES, it creates two problems, though. It disconnects us from the data in two major ways. First, we have no ownership or control over that data.
That's true.
And then secondly, with so many different devices, it's in so many different places, so it's really hard to manage. So what we've created is a mobile application that allows us to help these users aggregate all of their different devices, all of the data from those devices into one place, and then we can use some really cool technological tools to help them utilize that data.
So for me, I was just walking around today, and I loaded up the Apple Health app, and I saw that I had about 22,000 steps. That was, just kind of this quick look. And obviously stuff that's coming from the Apple Watch 2 on heartbeat and all that. What other types of devices what are you seeing out there that people are using? I'm sure many athletes are using a variety of different monitored devices, right?
Correct. And I've seen all kinds of different things, from a fork. I seen a smart belt earlier.
Okay.
They have hydration sensors. There's pretty much a sensor for anything that you can think of. And it creates an environment where, a lot of these health-conscious individuals want to utilize the tools, but it becomes an encumbrance and process to manage the stuff without a place to put it all.
So I'm just going to be presumptuous here and thinking then you're basically looking at all those tools, see if they have an API that you can go out and grab that data and pull it into your app. Is that how you're doing that, or what's your approach?
Yes, that's precisely how we're doing it. And the majority of what we've found is most of it's open source API.
Really?
A lot of these companies, Apple and such, they would prefer guys like us to create products to help expand the capabilities of what their Apple Health does.
So, you look at like Nike and some of the other groups, they even have their own, in earbuds as much. They've got stuff that tracks back. So so all those pretty much are open, and you can pull that data, or with permission, obviously, but you can pull that data and present that in your app. To me, that's pretty amazing. I find it surprising that so many of those devices are actually open, is like you said. That kind of actually surprises me a little bit. Do you often have to go and get token permission? And I know I'm talking a little technical here, but how does it work?
Yeah, in some instances, there's things that you have to do. Samsung's one of the more challenging ones to tap into. They want to just make sure that you're not doing things with the data you're not supposed to be doing.
That's right.
But again, they create those tools for developers like us so that people can get a better idea of who they are, what I like to call from a health fingerprint standpoint.
Right. So one thing that I did is I'm older, and one thing I opted into was heart study and a heart study plan. And I knew very well I was going to be sending data back to this group. I'd researched them, test them out, so I let them take data from the Apple Watch and pull it in. So I essentially have given explicit permission for them to do that just because, I'm 55 and I'm one of those dudes that's going to stroke out or have a heart attack. That's the potential, right? So if they can help me prevent that, great. So are you dealing with HIPAA issues then?
So we're not technically dealing with HIPAA issues at this current moment because we're tapping into, these devices that are outside of hospital regulations.
Okay.
We'll get a little bit more technical, talk a little bit more about what we're doing. So
Sure.
we use blockchain technology.
Awesome.
And the cool thing about blockchain is it allows us to do public and private publications.
Yep.
And what that means is our users share their data to the app, but we never see it. So it's stored privately with an identifier that's stored publicly so that it can be verified and authenticated to make sure that it's the real data.
So that keeps you GDPR and CCPA compliant because basically you're collecting the data, it's anonymized because of blockchain. it's coming in, it's able to be associated with the account, but technically one of your associates can't go into the account and say, hey, what's Todd's average heart rate?
Correct. Nobody can. And that's the beauty of what we're doing. We see the value in the user having complete control and ownership of their data, which they just don't have right now.
So do you give export ability too within your app to be able to export that out in some sort of documented format?
Yeah, so this is where it gets a little bit more exciting. We've created a blockchain-driven data exchange so you can share and monetize your data. So think about sending it to the doctor, sharing it with your friends, your health coach, your fitness coach, and then doing funny things like monetizing it where you send it over to your health and care provider for a cheaper premium, sell it on the open market to marketing companies. And when you really dig in, you talked about athletes a little bit earlier. A lot of people want to know how these athletes stay so fit. An athlete can essentially onboard their data to our exchange and then sell it to people that want to know how they're doing and what they're doing.
So I immediately hear thousands of people almost stopping and holding their breath there. They're thinking, selling our health information? Now, I can understand getting a cheaper insurance premium. They're already doing that in cars. If you agree to have your car monitored and they watch your driving, they will know that, Todd's not driving crazy. We can give him a lower insurance premium. So are you seeing the same thing happening with, okay, so you're going to the gym 4 times a week, you're exercising, you're not smoking, you're doing all these things that are healthy, and then if you're willing to share that data, is it share or sell?
So it's a bit of both, depending on how you're doing it, right? So when you're talking about your insurance company, from a healthcare perspective, you're sharing it with them.
Right.
If you're talking about you wanting to know how I stay fit and what my statistics are, or think about a marketing company that wants to know how I'm 37, how 37-year-old males are taking care of themselves, they might want to bulk in some of these people's data so that they can get an understanding. So one thing I will say, when you bring up car insurance, we're from Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
So everyone knows the Cleveland Clinic.
Yep.
I'll just use that as an example.
Yep.
They already offer through their health insurance package to their employees, if they walk 10,000 steps a day, they get a lower premium.
Interesting.
So it's already taking place. We're just amplifying what's happening, and we're expanding that market because we're able to connect into multiple different devices.
So I see the angle then on selling this information, but is it still, they're not going to know it's you, but they're going to have basic, are they going to know it's you, or are they going to know the basic demographic data?
It depends on how the user chooses to do it. So we're totally all for the user having complete control. They set the price. They pick what they want to share. And they also have the luxury of choosing how long they want to share it for. So they can share it for 2 hours, they can share it for a lifetime, or they can share it for a day if that's what they want to do.
So what's the going rate for this type of information? I'm kind of curious.
I really find it hard to peg a going rate because this is a market that's not yet been created.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in no man's land. What we've seen, though, is probably, depending on the type of data, that's going to determine where those values fall. And I think as things go, what we've decided to do is kind of implement an auction-style sale.
Okay.
So they can say maybe they want to sell their steps for $10.
Yep.
And if someone wants to pay $20 because they're bidding on it over a period of time as the sale's going, that's what the price will end up being.
And if you think about it, I'll use an example. We've been going to the grocery store using discount coupon cards for 40 years. They've been taking that data and knowing what we eat and what we buy and marketing towards us, and we have gotten nothing but maybe a little coupon savings from time to time from that data because they've direct marketed to us. So essentially what we're really doing is potentially monetizing ourselves, which they're already trying to collect as much information as they can, so why not get paid for it? So it's an interesting approach.
Yeah, I mean, the data is being sold right now,
but
we're not getting a piece of that.
That's right.
So we feel that we should get a piece of that.
Yeah. So what's the name of the app then that you have available? Is it online? Is it available on iOS and Android at this point?
So it is not. We're still pre-revenue.
Pre-revenue.
So we've not yet come up with a fancy name for the app.
Okay.
We do have our architecture built. Right now, what we're doing is we're prototyping some front-end UI and UX stuff
Okay.
to try to get the look and feel right for the consumer. We're targeting trying to have this thing done by the end of Q2.
So if someone wanted to beta test with it, what's the best way for them to reach out to you and say, hey, I think this is going to be awesome. Can I get on in the early release of the app?
Yeah, since I'm here, I'm co-founder, CEO. I'll just give you my email. It's anthony@emp.fitness.
Anthony, so empfitness.com?
No, just emp.fitness.
EMP. Oh, that's right, because there's an extension new. So EMP. See, there's another top-level domain that's available, folks. Don't forget .fitness. So emp.fitness. Anthony, emp.fitness. All right. Outstanding. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. It's, every year at CES, there's always something new and a different spin on things. Good luck on your app, and hopefully you'll figure out a revenue model and make this successful.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, and it's cool that you're doing the blockchain thing. So we keep hearing more and more about that. And also, not only does the blockchain anonymize it, but it also ensures accuracy too. So,
Correct.
All right. Anthony, thanks so much for being on.
No worries. Thank you for having me.